The story of village Palampur. This lesson brings the concept of production with the help of this story. Palampur is the hypothetical village, that is, imaginary village. There are totally 450 families in which one third is Dalits who are landless. This village has electricity, transport, irrigation, school, primary health center. Palampur is well connected with neighboring village and towns. Rayganj is 3 kilometers from Palampur, near small town Shahpur. 75% farming activity, that is agricultural products. 25% non-farming activity, that is shopkeeping, rickshaw, and many other productions. The aim of production is to produce goods and services that we want. There are requirements for production and services. Requirements are called factors of production. 4 factors of production. They are land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Land means natural resources, include water, forest, minerals, etc. Labor, physical labor, mental labor. Physical labor gives physical strength, that is manual work for building, construction, operating machines, etc. Producing many things in factory. Mental labor, highly educated. They perform mental works, writing works, software developing, teaching, etc. Physical capital. Capital is produced means of production. Variety of inputs required at every stage during production. What are the items that come under physical capital? Capital, fixed capital and working capital. Fixed capital, tools, machines, buildings, etc. Fixed capital means fixed, which can be used in production over many years but not used up in the production. Working capital, raw materials, money. Production required variety of raw materials. Clay used by the potter, yarn used by the weaver. Money is always required during the production to make payments and buy other necessary items. Raw materials and money in hand is called working capital. 4th requirement, entrepreneur. You will need knowledge and enterprise to be able to put together land, labor, capital and produce an output. This is called entrepreneur, that is human capital. This human capital discussed in next chapter. Farming in Palampur. Farming is the main activity in Palampur. 75% of people dependent on farming for their livelihood. Already discussed about 4 factors of production. First, discuss about land. Land is fixed. They want to increase their agricultural production. Land area under cultivation is practically fixed. Since 1960 in Palampur, no expansion in land area under cultivation because some wastelands converted into cultivable land before 1960. All land is cultivable in Palampur. No land is left idle. During the rainy season, cultivation of jowar and bajra used as cattle feed. October to December, cultivation of potato, and winter season, that is called as rabi season, cultivation of wheat, multiple cropping. To grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year is known as multiple cropping. The main reason farmers are able to give 3 different crops in a year. Palampur is due to the well-developed system of irrigation, electricity. People used electric run tube wells could irrigate much longer area of land more effectively. For production increasing, one way multiple cropping, next modern farming method for higher yield. Multiple cropping and modern farming produces higher yield. Modern cropping, they are used tractors and fertilizers, chemical fertilizers and pesticide HYV seeds. Difference between traditional seeds and HYV seeds. high yielding variety seeds. Traditional seeds till they used till 1960s. HOV seeds after 1960s they used. After Green Revolution they started to use. Then traditional seeds gives lower yield, but HOV seeds gives more production in the same piece of land. Traditional seeds, less irrigation is needed, but HIVV seeds needs plenty of water. Traditional seeds used cow dung and other natural productions used as a manure, but HIVV seeds used as a manure, chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So traditional seeds cheaper cost but less yield, but HIV seeds higher cost but producing higher yield. Farmers of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh were the first to try out the modern farming method in India. In this region, set up tube wells for irrigation and made use of HIV seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides in farming. In Palampur, traditional seeds produced 1300 kg per hectare. HIV seeds produced 3200 kg per hectare. So modern farming gives more production in Palampur, but modern farming methods have overused in natural resources. Under the modern farming, that is Green Revolution, leads to loss of soil fertilizers due to increased use of chemical fertilizers, also continuous use of groundwater for fertilizers. For tube well irrigation has led to the depletion of water table. Environmental resources like soil fertility and groundwater are built up over years. Once destroyed, it is very difficult to restore them. We must take care of the environment to ensure future development of agriculture. How is land divided among farmers? In Palampur, 450 families, one third, that is 150 families are landless. 240 families have less than 2 acres of land. 60 families have more than 2 hectares of land. Labor is the next necessary factor of production. Small farmers, along with their families, cultivate their own fields. They provide the labor required for farming themselves. Medium and large farmers hire farm laborers to work on their own fields. Higher laborers were paid wages in cash or kind. Kind means what is that? Sometimes crop or sometimes laborer get meals also. So wages may be variation is there from region to region and crop to crop, harvesting to harvesting. It may be varied. So wages depend upon farming activity. Wages depend on farming activity. Capital. Farming methods require a great deal of capital. Most small farmers have to borrow money to arrange for the capital. They borrow from large farmers or the village money lenders or the traders who supply various inputs for cultivation. The rate of interest on such loans is very high. They are put to great distress to repay the loan. In contrast with small farmers, the medium and large farmers have their own savings from farming. They are thus able to arrange for the capital needed. Big farmers keeping their savings, then they are used for next cultivation because of their surplus amount of wheat they are selling in the nearest market, then remaining money they are keeping for save, part of the money keeping as a savings, and the remaining part of used for cultivation. The wheat is harvested and the production is complete. What do the farmers do with the wheat? They retain a part of the wheat for the family consumption. Non-farm activities, Palampur, dairy, many shopkeepers, dairy, other common activity, dairy farming and other small scale manufacturing in Palampur. Manufacturing in Palampur involves very simple production methods. Trading, they are buying and selling the products used with the help of transportation. Shopkeepers of Palampur, they are using the transportation facilities. They are selling their products, rice, wheat, sugar, tea, oil, biscuits, etc. to the nearby village. They are developing their transportation and manufacturing activities and other activities also. Thank you, children.